Hi, this is Vincent, and welcome to Right of Way, a vlog about traffic, transport, and road safety. Several days ago, I posted a video from this area that garnered quite a lot of views and generated a lot of public comments on both Twitter and Facebook. On Twitter, we got nearly 67,000 views, and on Facebook, we got nearly twice that, or more than twice that many views. And a lot of comments and feedback from the public on this particular video. So let's take a look at that video, which is only 18 seconds, and then let's talk a little bit about that. So that's the video, and as you can see in the video, there's this orange barricade that really seems to block the center two lanes of this area right behind me. And that doesn't make sense. And I posted that on a Friday, about 10 in the morning, and about 2 days later, on a Sunday, at about 11 in the morning, I finally got a response from the MMDA on Twitter. And basically what they said was that the barriers are there to prevent vehicles from swerving. Huh? Let's take a look at a picture of that area again. When they responded that it was meant to prevent swerving, there was instant reaction from the people on Twitter, myself included, saying that those barriers really actually encourage swerving, and it allows for swerving. Within minutes, the MMDA deleted its response. About 10 hours later, we got a response from the MMDA spokesperson, who said that the barriers were merely blown by the wind. In her words, nagalaw sa hangin. Okay, that answer raises a lot more questions than it actually answers. But Twitter people aren't stupid. And it was very clear that that answer wasn't accurate. Because up to today, which is probably a week and a half after I posted that video, people are still reporting that that orange barricade is being placed in the exact same position every morning during rush hour. So I think the MMDA response is one thing. But I don't want to talk about this specific issue today. What I want to do is actually step back and take a look at public and government interaction. Because it seems that, especially when it comes to dealing with traffic and all the problems that we face, the public's patience is very short, and understandably so. On behalf of government, what I see also is their short of patience as well. I think they see a lot of motorists out there who are very hard-headed, who demand their 5 minutes, even if it's obvious that they've been sitting there for longer than 5 minutes and won't budge. And so what I want to do is sort of step back a bit and take a look at the interaction between government agencies such as the MMDA and other frontline agencies, and the way they interact with citizens, and the way we as citizens interact with agencies such as the MMDA. On the part of citizens, I think without a doubt we must hold our public officials to account for the decisions they make, whether it's placing a barrier on the road or enacting legislation to lower the minimum age for criminal liability, for example. That goes without saying. We really, as citizens, must hold our public officials accountable and really hold them to defend the kinds of decisions they make, the kinds of policies they put in place that affect all of us. And that, I think, is very important. The other thing I wanted to say about our interaction with government agencies is sometimes I think we have to do a bit more homework in terms of finding out a little bit more about some of these policies and decisions that they make. Because a lot of times, especially when it comes to, let's say, the MMDA, we tend to blame the MMDA for everything in terms of traffic transport, especially Metro Manila, when in fact many times it's not really in their mandate or it's beyond their jurisdiction. So I think we have to be a little more cautious about assigning blame or pinpointing who might be responsible for some of these decisions. I've seen, for example, on Twitter, a lot of people blaming the MMDA for things that are really beyond their control, that they have nothing to do with. So let's be more careful about that. And the other thing is, I wanted to say is, a lot of these government agencies are not monolithic. I've had occasion to work with government officials over the last decade and a half, and I know that there are a lot of good people in government. I mean, that almost goes without saying. The problem is, a lot of these good people who have good intentions and are qualified by most measures are sometimes, or many times, overwhelmed by the bureaucracy. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times the heads of agencies or the senior people, senior management, are political appointees. And this is where it kind of gets sticky with a lot of agencies, because many of these political appointees are there because of political favors or political payback for the ones who are appointing them. And I think this is where we run into a lot of trouble. And so let's not treat these government agencies as monoliths, and recognize the fact that there are good people, there are competent people within government agencies. And we just kind of have to separate them out and not throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. So I think that's important for us as citizens to recognize. Going on to the part of government, and I think this is where I have a lot of problems with. I'll categorize government workers into two broad categories for the purpose of this vlog. And I think there are those hard-working, honest civil servants that are out there that are doing the best under the circumstances. And these are career people. These are people who've been with government for ages. And we know that working for government is not easy. Many times they're underworked or rather overworked and underpaid. Sometimes they're underworked and overpaid. But generally, a lot of them are overworked and underpaid. And they're working with very thin budgets, and they're doing the best they can within their own sphere of influence. And many times, decisions are made at the middle management level. They're decent decisions, they're based on technical criteria and all of that, but many times when it moves up into the decision-making chain, then the decisions start getting distorted and political concerns start creeping into decision-making. And I say this, not of this particular administration, but it's something that happens, I've seen it through at least 3 administrations. And so it is, I think, a part and parcel of the way the bureaucracy works. And it's something that has to be addressed, and it's something that's beyond the scope of this particular vlog, so I won't talk about that. But, so let's not treat them as monoliths. Going on to the part of government agencies, going back to what I was saying earlier, I'll split them into 2 general types. One are those hard-working, generally competent bureaucrats, civil servants, who are there to really serve, and they're overworked and underpaid, as I said. And then there's a second kind of government worker that seems to forget that he or she is there to serve the public. And what we see from these kinds of officials is many times they defend their institution against legitimate criticisms, constructive criticisms. And I think this is where a lot of individuals in government have to improve. I tweeted, I think on my personal account many weeks back, that the level of sensitivity to criticism, and I said this of government agencies, the level of sensitivity to criticisms of a particular government agency is directly proportional to incompetence, mismanagement, and/or corruption. Think about it. If you think about government officials, especially those who are either elected or appointed, who make the most noise about defending their institutions against criticism, these are usually the ones that are incompetent, who mismanage, or who are corrupt themselves. And I won't give you specific examples. You probably know what I'm talking about. So, rare is the public servant or the senior official who's willing to accept constructive criticism from the public and then try to respond to it appropriately without overreacting. And I think those kinds of public officials are kind of rare. But you know, public officials have to realize they cannot be an onion skin. They are there to serve the public, and the public will invariably criticize the work they do. Now, if it's destructive criticism, if it's criticism for the sake of criticism, then we can probably just brush that aside. But if these are legitimate gripes, if these are constructive comments coming from the public, then I think government officials should take those things seriously. So when the public responds, for example, to these orange barricades that we pointed out on Quezon Avenue, rather than defend it and say it was blown by the wind, which is basically BS, listen to the people and say, listen and say, are they making sense? Does it cause a danger to motorists in the area? Ask yourself honestly. What the people don't appreciate are government officials who make up things as they go along, just to defend an institution or to defend their position in government, for example. What the people really want are public officials who are willing to own up to mistakes. Look, we're not going to blame you if you make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, okay? But what I've said it on this vlog already, and I'll say it again. To all public officials, we will not blame you if you don't have all the answers, okay? But we will blame you if you think you have all the answers. So listen to the people. Listen to what their concerns are. Listen to the commuting public. Listen to how difficult it is to commute in this city, how dangerous it is to be a pedestrian, or how difficult it is to be a person with a disability. Listen to them and respond to them. And sure, you're not gonna come up with a perfect solution every time. And sometimes it's an iterative process where you keep on improving. But the only way you're going to do that is if you listen to the people. And so that's kind of what I wanted to say this afternoon. It's, again, one of my long-winded monologues, gone on for too long. But this orange barricade on Quezon Avenue is really bothering me. And I didn't know what to do with it. And I didn't want to make the episode just about that orange barricade because enough has already been said on Twitter and on Facebook about it. But what I think we all, both on the side of citizens and on the side of government, we all need to listen to each other a lot better. On the citizens' end, we need to be better about discerning about who really we should be addressing our concern to, make sure that we're not addressing it to the wrong agency. And let's make sure also that we're making constructive comments and we're not just haters. And then on the part of government, please listen to the people. Please don't feed us BS, because we know when you're feeding us BS. And it doesn't help your credibility when you're just there to defend. Listen to the people, accept their comments, and improve. And that's all we can really ask for, right? So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Again, went on much longer than I expected. If you have any photos or videos, comments, or questions that you'd like to share with us, you can email us at rightofway@rappler.com, or you can send us a message on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at rightofwayph. Until then, this is Vincent, and I'm out of here. Stay safe on the road, guys.